Let's start it up. Let's wait for all the platforms to get boosted up. You know, the beginning part of getting started or getting a rocket started is the takeoff. So when we try to do it on every single platform, the takeoff is what takes the longest. You cannot retain a clear purpose of what you want by turning your attention to opposing pictures and images of what you don't want, right? You cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures, whether they be external or imaginary. Let's go! Kylan Evans. This man right here built a computer in a month, and now he's got thousands of followers and does it for a living, does video games for a living. I'm going to have him on soon. This is an example of using the will. You cannot retain a true and clear vision of wealth if you are constantly turning your attention to opposing pictures. If we want full soul, freedom, health, love, we cannot be turning our attention to things that don't serve this ideal life. Am I right? Comment yes if I'm right about that. I'm not right about it. Wallace Wattles, the original manifesto, the law of attraction expert, is right about it. If you guys haven't downloaded the book yet, go ahead and download the free PDF right there in the comments. Do not tell of your past troubles, your past struggles. You're not there anymore. You're not in the past anymore. The second you think of the past or past struggles, you are living in that emotion of being in the past struggle. We can't do that anymore. We have to completely take and assume the personality, the person of having all of the wealth that is presented to us from infinite substance. Infinite substance is exactly what it says. It's infinite. There's no lack of. The second we think of lack or poverty or anything like that, it's telling infinite substance that's what we want, right? Last chapter, thinking in the certain way, we have to turn our attention completely against poverty. We can inspire poor people, we can inspire the people who are struggling, but if we give them loaves of bread and things like that, if we donate, it's just going to keep them perpetuating in the fact of them being poor. They're going to forget that they're poor for a minute or two while eating the sandwich that we're giving them. We have to inspire these people. So hopefully that's what we're doing with these lives. Do not tell of your past struggles. Do not talk about the past struggles. Completely forget about past struggles. Completely forget about what your parents had to go through. Don't talk about it. Completely avoid it. The world is going to God, and we cannot serve God any better than becoming rich. If you really think about it, becoming rich isn't about just money. It isn't. It's never been about just money. To obtain wealth and riches, that's how you get everything that you want. So comment in there what you think riches is really about. There's people there that say riches is just about greed and it's about accumulating the most money possible, but it's not about that. It's about getting, because if you have abundant riches, if you have the unlimited wealth that's already provided there for you, you can have unlimited love. There's no cap on how much you can love. You can have unlimited health because you're not worried about hospital bills and things like that. How do we not think about poverty? You have to put it into your subconscious that is automatically what you think about is wealth. And this book right here, this book is the proven mental program for a life of wealth. So as soon as you think of, if you have bills or anything like that, you have to budget that you're going to make more money at the end of the month. I'm a budgeter, so I don't look at things like what ifs, right? Because if you constantly think of the worst possible thing that's going to happen, that's what's going to be presented to you. So I hope that answers your question. And to think of poverty, this is continuing on to that question, and to think of poverty, you're in a competitive mode. That means that there's never enough. So this is one of the things that Wallace talks about in every single chapter, is to create and do not compete, right? To create and do not compete. There is no competition because you're the only you. There's other streamers out there. There's other streamers out there that are doing things that you're not doing. But if you get into that competitive mode of something that they have that you don't have, then you're thinking in lack. Then you're thinking in poverty. And to do that would be a sin. Because doubting is a sin. That means you're doubting infinite intelligence, and doubting that infinite intelligence can give you everything you want. So you have to think in the creative mode. That way you can take your time too with things. And that's the best part, is if you're in the creative mode, you can take your time with things because you're not rushed. You're not competing with anybody. It's a beautiful thing. Give your attention wholly to riches. Ignore poverty. Whether you think or speak of those who are poor, think and speak of them as those who are becoming rich. Now, there's people that are going to come to you, woe is me, these things, that thing, this thing happens. This is my excuse for why I can't do these things. Acknowledge what they're saying, and then speak wealth into them. Inspire them to do better. Don't force them to do anything, because that's part of the will. We can't force anybody to do anything. But we can speak of them as becoming rich. Have them better off because they met you. Then they and others will catch the inspiration and begin to search for the way out. That is the only way that we can spread this word, is to inspire poor and inspire the people who are struggling. To become really rich is the noblest aim that you can have in life, for it includes everything else. On the competitive plane, the struggle to get rich is a godless scramble for power over other men. But when we come into the creative mind, all that is changed. All that is possible in the way of greatness and soul unfoldment, of service and lofty endeavor, comes by way of getting rich. All is made possible by the use of things. All is made possible by getting rich in the creative plane. It's a very difficult thing, especially on social media, when you see all of the things that you do not have. You have to stay in the creative field. If you lack physical health, you will find that the attainment of, or if you lack for physical health, you will find that the attainment of abundant health is conditional on you getting rich, which makes so much sense, because that's why a lot of guys don't go to the doctor's office, because we're worried about what the doctor bill is going to be. Have you ever had that? I've done that before. I don't want to pay the bill, so I don't even go see the doctor. Only those who are emancipated from financial worry and who have the means to live a carefree existence and follow hygienic practices can have and retain health. Moral and spiritual greatness, so soul unfoldment, are those who become rich on the plane of creative thought, are free from the degrading influences of competition. If your heart is set on domestic happiness, remember that love flourishes best where there is refinement, a level of high thought and freedom from corrupting influences. Isn't that the truth too? If you can do everything that you wanted to with your lover, with your partner, it would be based on being rich and being free. What do most divorces end in? Why do they end? Finances. You can aim at nothing so great or noble, I repeat, as to become rich, and you must fix your attention upon the mental picture of riches, to the exclusion of all that may tend to dim or obscure the vision. You must learn to see the underlying truth in all things. You must see the benefit, all seemingly wrong conditions, the great one life ever moving toward fuller expression. You can serve God and man in no more effective way than becoming rich. That is, if you get rich by the creative method and not the competition method, right? He's got to say it over and over and over. And doubting that you're becoming rich or are rich right now is a sin. That means that you're doubting the fact that God or infinite substance can give you everything that you want and need. Others are poor because while they feel there is no way out, they are too intellectually indolent to put forth the mental effort necessary to find that way and travel by it. And for these, the very best thing you can do is to arouse their desire by showing them the happiness that comes from rightly rich. Others are still poor while they have some notion of science. They have become so swamped. There isn't any other clear way to get rich than this way right here. All money is a thought. It doesn't have anything to do with dollar bills or anything like that. You have to lift the doubt from your mind that all wealth is yours. All wealth is yours. Do whatever you can to make that a subconscious thought. Read this book every day, keep it with you, commit it to memory, and do not think about other systems or theories. If you do, you will begin to have doubts and to be uncertain and unwavering in your thought, and then you will begin to make failures. After you made good and become rich, you may study other systems as much as you please, but until you are quite sure that you have gained what you want, do not read anything else. Also, postpone your investigations into the occult. Do not dabble in theosophy, spiritualism, or kindred studies. It is very likely that the dead still live and are near, but if they are, let them alone. Mind your business. And then it goes into the syllabus, which I think everybody should memorize. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance, the thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and which, by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created by the creative thought. That's a subconscious thing that happens with me as soon as I have any doubt or anything that comes into my world as to what I'm achieving. So I think everybody should memorize that. It really is just a paragraph, and it's super, super easy to memorize it if you write it down. So, guys, use your will to have a great rest of your Thursday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any comments or have any limiting beliefs, DM me. I have a free system that works, and I will give that to you for free. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your Thursday.